What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. Today we will be training the back, so we can do this pose even better, mainly focusing on the back thickness, but we start out with the V-shape exercise, the lat pull down. Actually, this one, the converging lat pull down, to make sure that we work on the V-shape and the back width. So let's do this.
Alright, so as I said, this workout will be all about working the back width, but mostly the back thickness, because that is what I want to work on. Not only the back thickness at the top, but also at the bottom, as I noticed during the comparisons at the last Arnold Classic contest. I did notice I lacked some thickness at the bottom, the lower lats, but also some thickness overall. But the back actually didn't look that bad compared to pretty much anyone on that stage in terms of width. So, of course, when you're a classic bodybuilder, you don't want to neglect the width, which is why we also do some kind of pull down during a back workout. But working the thickness will make our back look that much better on stage compared to the rest, because it'll give you more detail, more definition, and simply more a 3D effect.
Right, guys, we just did the converging lat pull down to get warmed up for the width, but since we want to work on the back thickness more, now we're going to do a unilateral movement with this grip, because after this one we'll do one with this grip. This is unilateral movement for the back thickness, and because it's unilateral you can actually pull further, contracting the back harder. So let's do it.
So this next exercise will indeed be a unilateral movement, which I love to do because it allows you to contract the back in a different way, and it actually allows you to also find out if one arm is stronger than the other, or in this case, which lat or which side of the back is stronger or weaker. And then when you find out which one is weaker, you always start out with the weaker part, or if they're just as strong, it doesn't matter that much. But actually, the movement we did before this, the converging lat pull down, on kind of like a hammer strength machine, a free weight machine, was also a unilateral movement, but because we moved with two arms at the same time, you weren't able to contract as deeply as this one, which is the main difference. And here you can see I'm working out with my dad, fully clothed up in vintage genetics apparel, and we are working together with Gladiator Sports, because this will be the year of the Gladiator. Really finding those weak points and working on them like a gladiator would, fighting your way through the workouts to become a better bodybuilder. That is what I'm going to do, but more about that, especially what Gladiator is, later on. But this back workout is pretty awesome. This, as you can see, is at a different gym. It's called Basic Fit in the Netherlands. Usually it's kind of like, there's a lot of Basic Fit as a gym chain, so usually those aren't that good, but I have to say the machines here, they are pretty good. The range of motion is good, it's just very busy, and that's why for most hardcore bodybuilders it's not such a popular gym, which is why I love my own gym, 100% Fit Gym.
Right, the next exercise is again a seated row, this time not unilaterally, this time two hands at the same time with our hammer grip to really target the lower back thickness this time instead of the upper back thickness. So let's do this.
Alright, so this is a really amazing exercise. There are some exercises that you can do that you just feel amazingly in the muscle that you are working. So this is a lower back row. Pretty much the same as what we just did, but as I explained before, the grip here is different. And bodybuilding is mostly about hitting the muscle from different angles. So the more angles you can hit the muscle with, the most effective way, the better it is, the better it will be for muscle growth. So what I meant with some machines are simply, you feel the muscle much better, is you really have to do that machine pretty much every single time that you work that muscle group. Because this machine, for me, I feel it's so well in the lower back that it's a great machine to use to work on a weak point like that. So, for example, some people have very much difficulty getting a contraction or a good stretch in the chest, for example, and when they do a certain pec deck machine, just a really particular machine they feel it with, and without having a mind-muscle connection in any other machine or any other way of exercising that muscle, it is very important you stick to that machine to really get that feeling there and to work on that weak point before only sticking to other exercises. But here the lower back is targeted very well, contracting it fully and also a full stretch.
Right, now it's time for an underhand pull down. Very different from the regular lat pull down because this allows you to pull even deeper, allows you to pull your elbows close to your side and allows you to get a deeper contraction for the back thickness, but the stretch at the top will ensure the V shape getting even wider. So let's get this exercise going.
So yes, this is also an amazing exercise, the underhand lat pull down. If you do this correctly, you will feel an incredible stretch at the bottom, at the top, of course. If you don't feel that stretch at the top, make sure to really use full range of motion. What I see a lot of people do is, especially during either a narrow grip pull down or a V-bar pull down or an underhand lat pull down, is that their arms are simply not stretched all the way, and that prevents a full stretch of the back. And if you want a wide back, if you want true back width, a true V shape, then you have to stretch it out at the very top. As you can see, my dad is doing the same as well. A full range of motion, a full stretch at the top and a full contraction at the bottom. The contraction part is very important here as well because you want to get that rhomboids, those upper traps and those middle traps, to really grow in size, and the only way to do that is to properly contract them. Now the width to hold this bar is different for everybody. To me, if I hold it too close together, I can feel it in my wrists too much, and what I'm trying to focus on then is not hurting my wrists instead of actually working the back. So you gotta find the right grip for this in order to make it work efficiently for you. And this is a hyperextension, one that I haven't done in quite a while, but also one that I will be implementing more often. I actually did this a couple of years back before doing very serious competitions because at that time I wasn't that seasoned, I wasn't that experienced, and the people who I was up against on stage in the Netherlands really didn't have such a great back overall, and my lower back was pretty much almost every time superior or very close to superior. So right now you can really see, if you battle with the top of the world, that you need every single detail in the back to be there. So I kind of neglect the back looking back, especially the lower back, and that's a lot of backs in one sentence, back, 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 back. But this hyperextension really works those spinal erectors and the lower lats to make them thicker, and that's what I want, because the top thickness has improved since the Olympia, but the bottom thickness can still get a lot of improvements, and that's what will make the back a lot bigger and better. And after all of those back exercises, it's time for some dumbbell curls. Now, I've done the contest a few weeks ago. It was on March the 1st. And right now I have been doing a rebound diet with more carbs and more fats. I'm going to make a video about that exactly, how I've done that. In the morning I weighed around 241 pounds the day of the show, and right now I weigh around 116 kilograms, which comes down to 255 pounds. So I gained quite a lot of pounds without that much fat. Of course, there's some water weight included, but that water weight is inside the muscle and not really under the skin. Of course, a little bit, but hey, if we look conditioned enough, I'm quite happy. But what that also did is bring me a lot of strength. If you look at my previous videos, you see that I never really do heavy dumbbell curls or anything that heavy, because if I do it too heavy, I cannot really feel I cannot really get into a full range of motion with proper form, and I can't really get a mind-muscle connection the way that I can get with a slightly lighter weight. But now I was able to hit up to 24 kilograms with the dumbbell curls in a perfect range of motion, a perfect form, which normally I would probably do 14 to 16 kilograms maximum even before the contest diet. So this rebound is really working. I'm maximizing the weights wherever I can, I'm going as heavy as I can without compromising the form and feeling a full mind-muscle connection. So that's the way you should train. If you don't feel any pains and you're able to go heavy with a full range of motion and good form, definitely go for it. And that's why sometimes I like to go light, because that's the only way for me to hit the full range of motion with good form. But now I'm going as heavy as I possibly can with this rebound diet. But anyway, for this final exercise, it's a unilateral hammer curl to get the brachialis of the biceps thicker, to make the bicep look thicker from the front. And it also is a great forearm exercise to really make the gap in between the forearms and the biceps even smaller. And that was the workout of the day. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.